The sun hung low over Alexandria, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch endlessly towards the horizon. Within the opulent walls of her palace, Cleopatra, the enigmatic queen of Egypt, sat in silence, her gaze fixed on the distant sea. The air carried an unusual chill, an omen perhaps, of the events that were about to unfold. The kingdom was in disarray, Caesar was dead, and the triumphant Octavian was at her doorstep, ready to claim Egypt for Rome. Cleopatra knew her reign was over. The days of luxury, power, and divine worship had come to their inevitable end. Yet, as an astute and proud ruler, she refused to be paraded through Rome a captive, less a human and more a trophy. As the torchlights flickered along the stone corridors, Cleopatra summoned her most loyal confidants to her chambers. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding as she whispered her final plan, one of resistance and dignity. Among her attendants were Charmian and IRAs, women as fierce in their loyalty as Cleopatra was in her brilliant cunning. They understood her decision and silently vowed to protect her dignity. In the gardens, as the moon rose, Cleopatra prepared herself for the final act. Draped in immaculate robes of white silk, adorned with gold and jewels, she looked akin to the goddess Isis herself. Her mind fluttered through memories of Caesar and Antony, lovers who had seen her as more than a queen, who had seen her as a woman. Nearby, basked in the gentleness of the moonlight, lay a basket bearing figs, concealing the instrument of her demise. Cleopatra stood before her attendants, her eyes shimmering with tears, yet holding an undeniable strength. She spoke not of surrender, but of sovereignty, choosing to meet death by her own terms, rather than captivity by another's. As Charmian and IRAs gathered, Cleopatra's poignant words echoed within the chamber, the promise to meet again in the embrace of the afterlife. Her voice, though barely above a whisper, carried the weight of her love for Egypt. As the night reached its deepest, Cleopatra lifted the ASP to her breast, a gesture of defiance and liberation. In its bite was freedom, a final, everlasting escape from a world that threatened to cage her spirit. The palace was silent, its walls bearing witness to the queen's last breath, a testament to Cleopatra's indomitable will. Her attendants, guided by her wishes, woefully prepared her for the journey to eternity. They anointed her body with sacred oils and perfumes, so that she might arrive as the goddess she believed herself to be. The death of Cleopatra marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Yet in her actions, she forged a legacy far beyond the reign of Rome. Her final night, a symbol of audacious sovereignty and undying love, for a kingdom she forever immortalized in history's embrace. As dawn approached, its gentle light whispering over the palace, her timeless story began to weave through ages, echoing through eternity. A queen who chose dignity over defeat, love over power, history over oblivion.